Hi there, it's Danny here with a mini message, and the title of this mini message is Are the Gospels Eyewitness Accounts of the Life of Jesus? Now, I admit I'm a little biased in responding to this question, but I do think it'd help anyone who wants to answer this question to read the Gospels and just have in the back of your mind, does the text you're reading sound like it was made up by someone who is either deliberately fabricating events, or someone who was disconnected either by many decades or even centuries, or someone who's not in their right state of mind? Or on the other hand, do they sound like they're written by people who with authentic experience of what they're describing? Let me start just by reading the first few verses of Luke's Gospel, because it gives a flavour as he sets the scene. It says this: "Many have undertaken to draw up an account of the things that have been fulfilled among us, just as they were handed down to us by those who from the first were eyewitnesses and servants of the word. With this in mind, since I myself have carefully investigated everything from the beginning, I too decided to write an orderly account for you, most excellent Theophilus, that you may know the certainty of the things you have been taught." So even from the outset, this sounds like it's being written by a historian who's taking a lot of care over what he puts together. And it's often suggested that we've got 4 different accounts. They contradict with each other. Some of them include some of the events of Jesus, others don't. Some paraphrase the words of Jesus, others quote him directly. There are different order of events if you look at the different gospel accounts, and all this goes to show that they can't be trusted. But I'd actually go the other way, and I think that all of this adds more authenticity. I mean, if we had 4 gospel accounts that were virtually identical, it'd be much easier to make the case that they were fabricated, that the 4 writers had colluded to make sure they all aligned perfectly. And the fact that some of them, that they are so different, for me is just 4 different writers bringing their own unique experiences to the table when they're recording their accounts. It's the same as if 4 different people watch the same football match, for example. They're all going to agree on the most important things, like the scoreline at the end of the match. But some of them may include certain flashpoints if they were writing an account of a match. Some would include certain events that took place. But there might be differences in order. There might be a different perception of the outcome, different view on decisions made. And that's all we see with the Gospels. We have 4 completely different characters using their own language, their own experiences, their own metaphors at times, but to describe the same historic events. And I think you can gain lots of certainty that the Gospels were written by eyewitnesses if you look at some of the subtle details within the text. So, for example, there are numerous references to geography, whether it talks about going up a hill here or down there, or the grass being green in this particular account, or there's loads of small details added to the narrative that are very unlikely to be there unless they were written by someone who was seeing it with their own eyes. And even some of the place names and other details that are in the text, you'd be taking a big gamble by including these type of things if you were removed by many years or geography from the events you're writing about. Now, none of this goes to prove their authenticity, but it does help build a picture that they're reliable. And if this is a topic that really interests you, I'd recommend a lecture that I looked at, given by a chap called Dr. Peter Williams. And we've blogged on this actually a few years back. If you go to our website, thecomingking.com, and if you search for a blog, the Gospels were based on eyewitness accounts, Dr. Peter Williams goes into quite a lot of evidence where he explores this question, and I'm sure that they will leave you feeling much more reassured that the Gospels can be trusted in all they present us with. So I hope that's of interest. Do let us know if you have any questions on this. We'll do the best we can to answer. And as always, if we can't answer, which is quite possible, we'll certainly try and point you in the right direction. God bless and take care.